this one, hopefully you can see that you have a square and then you have a circle. Those dimensions for your square is going to be your 3.7 by 3.7, and the circle that you have going around it, there is the diameter. The offset that you're going to need to create this with, and you're going to see that anytime I have something that's linked together and has a copy of this one, I would usually convert it to a polyline, and that'll save me some work when I trim. So when we get to that point, we're going to use this as our offset, but we're going to create the outside shell here as a polyline. So here in AutoCAD, let's go ahead and start with a rectangle. Let's click our start point. And the dimensions that we're going to need is 3.7, 3.7. Let's put a circle, center diameter, right in the middle of our square here. Shift and right click, use geometric center, touch the edge of my square, and then I'll click on the star. Make sure you get a preview of your circle, and then type in the diameter, which is 4. Trim. I like to start with trimming off one object first, so I'm just going to trim all of these outsides of my circle, and then I'll come back and trim off the corner pieces of my square. Escape. Now I want to join this together, and you can do this either way. You can select the objects first, underneath modify, and then choose join. What you're looking for here is that you make sure that it tells you that you have one polyline. With that being one polyline, that gives us a huge advantage when we use the offset command. We'll type in our distance, which is 0.2. Select the object, and make sure that you go to the inside. Then escape. Let's go ahead and complete the front part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a circle right at this midpoint with a radius of 0.5. So I'll choose circle, center radius. Location, I will click this midpoint, kind of preview my circle, and the radius is 0.5. Choose the trim command again. Well, before we use the trim command, let's go ahead and make the lines, and then we'll trim it and make it one command. So let's start the line from this quadrant out to where it perpendiculars to this line. Then escape. Do the exact same thing on the other side. So line from this quadrant to where it perpendiculars to here. Remember that if you're not getting the perpendicular or the quadrant to show up, you might have to make sure that your running O-snap is selected. Now when I use the trim command, I'll trim off the corners, the lines in between, the corners of my arcs here, and then the little tabs on the end. Escape. Now we're going to create a circle, center diameter. What I want you to do is touch the midpoint, and then kind of come out of there as quickly as possible, trying to avoid any other O-snaps. Come down to where I get the tracking. 1.35 is the distance that it's going to go from that. And then the diameter is 2.125. Last thing we need to do is go ahead and create that arc that's located on the end here. And I will use a traditional arc command for this one. I know the start of it, I know the end, and I also know the radius of it. So I'll choose start end radius. I'll start at this location. Remember, I'm going in a counterclockwise. I'll end at this location. And I always like to give myself just a preview of what that arc is doing. And the radius is 2. The 2 comes from half of the diameter of our original large circle there. Okay, so hopefully this was quite informative to you, and thanks for watching.